Catch past episodes of Create, Build, and Manage Daily on demand. Go to bizvod.com for details.
Highclere Castle Gin has won 74 international awards since launching in 2019. You might be familiar with its origin, as Highclere Castle is famous around the world as the Real Downton Abbey. Joining us tonight via Zoom is the CEO and co-founder of Highclere Castle Gin, Adam von Gootkin. Adam, welcome to the show.
God, it's wonderful to be with you today. How are you?
I'm doing great. By the way, congrats on your early success. What do you credit your accomplishments to?
Well, I think the brand itself, it kind of speaks for itself. It's such a historic, magical place that people around the world love and appreciate, of course, from Downton Abbey, but it's also a real working, functioning estate and home and country home. And I've just simply tried to liquefy the spirit of that into Highclere Castle Gin. And thankfully, we're now one of the most awarded gins in the world. And I credit it to the commitment of my team, and of course that of Lord and Lady Carnarvon, who own and run the castle, who've kind of graciously allowed me to take this wild idea and bring it to life.
Yeah, I want to kind of talk about your wild idea because it's an interesting journey that started with, and we're looking at pictures, by the way, amazing pictures. Of course, we're familiar with the castle, but you had this journey, I love it, started with a cold call to Highclere that led to a $50 million business. Adam, I want to hear that story.
Yeah, it kind of is a bizarre one, and it is the ultimate cold call, and I think a testament to the power of the cold call in a way. I had built a distillery here in Connecticut, where I am located right now. It kind of is an homage to my family's history in spirits production going back to the 1800s. And I learned all these things through building that business. It was a very successful business, but it was quite regional and small. So I wanted to take the lessons that I had learned and apply them to a brand that had global appeal and really global legs. But the problem with a lot of these kind of celebrity-oriented brands is they really don't do very well because the brands aren't real. And consumers these days are seeking authenticity more than ever. So a brand has to really be real to emotionally connect with the consumer. So I kind of spent a year looking around the world as to where can I build a brand that is luxury, exceptional high quality, but also very authentic and very genuine. And I was introduced to Highclere Castle through Downton Abbey, like 250 million other fans around the world were. And I just was enchanted with it. And after one of the episodes ended, a documentary came up and they said, stay tuned. Coming up next is a Downton Abbey, documentary on Highclere Castle, the Real Downton Abbey. And so I watched it in spellbound awe. I couldn't believe it was a real place. I was so impressed with Lord and Lady Carnarvon on camera, running this estate and doing their best to keep it going. So the next day I sent out a very random email to their website kind of inbox, expecting it to be ignored. And the very next day, the phone rang and it was the 8th Earl of Carnarvon. 2 weeks later, I was on a plane to go stay at Highclere for the weekend.
That is awesome. Adam, those are rare stories, but congratulations for getting an audience. And then, of course, you've turned it into success. And you've done that by focusing on two things, customer service and joy. Unpack that for us.
Yeah, it's a very important point. I think that it's very difficult these days with all the noise of the world to kind of lose track and focus on the thing that matters most within the business. And it really is about kind of staying obsessed with the customer, with the end consumer. If you create a demand there with that consumer by giving them what they want, by helping them understand and joining you on the journey, by having a very pure and very genuine commitment to quality and not sacrificing that quality and being sustainable and responsible with how you produce your product. If you do all those things, then the consumer fundamentally, I think, will have a loyalty to you that surpasses anything else. And so that's about an obsession with the customer. And I think some larger companies sometimes forget that, and it's really just about margin or it's just about profit. And I feel that sometimes consumers can kind of sense that, and there tends to be a lack of kind of trust with that company. The second piece, of course, is beyond the brand itself, just kind of having a very firm, clear vision around where you're going and where you want to be with the business, and sticking to that relentlessly, following the blocking and tackling of it, and building the business one step at a time with a real focus on creating that pull so that the market is pulling the product and you're not having to push it out there all the time, because it's a lot more expensive and it's a lot more work.
That's brilliant, Adam. And anyone who's in business watching, that's great tips for them. And that goes beyond gin. That's any product or service that you're offering out there. Want to put your website up there. It is highclerecastlegin.com. There it is. By the way, gorgeous packaging as well. Kudos.
Thank you.
Kudos on that. Highclerecastlegin.com. Again, the website if you're listening to our podcast. You also mentioned joy because you're in the business of selling gin. Why not be happy with your work, right?
Absolutely. You know, it's really funny you bring that up. Just yesterday, I received a very random text, and I actually just posted about this on my LinkedIn page, my personal LinkedIn page. But, you know, when I was getting into the liquor business, I had paused and thought to myself, you know, here I am opening a liquor distillery, and I'm going down this path of liquor. You know, perhaps I should be contributing my work towards, you know, a sustainable business practice or some very hyper positive impact kind of company, instead of just getting into liquor, you know, diving in kind of head first, so to speak. And then I started to realize that we really are in the business of bringing people joy and memories. And so this woman reached out to me. I haven't seen her or talked to her in many years. I couldn't believe she had my number. And she wanted me to know that a bottle of whiskey we had produced a few years back, maybe like 8 by now, 10 years back even, that her husband loved this bottle of whiskey, was saving it for when they paid their mortgage off. Well, he died tragically last year, and she paid the mortgage off this year. And to celebrate his honor, they opened up this whiskey with her and her family, and they toasted him. And she just wanted me to know how much joy we brought her by having this special bottle of spirit for her to open up. And that those kind of moments remind me that, you know, in the liquor business, we really are in the business of getting people to slow down, spend quality time with each other, and bring people joy.
I love that, Adam. And for those who are watching at home who want to try your gin, where can they find it?
Well, we're in about 27 states, so many liquor stores and the best restaurants and hotels feature our gin, of course. And it's also available for the holiday season through our website, highclerecastlegin.com, and it can be delivered right to your door.
Adam, I love it. Just in time for the holidays. Thank you for sharing your story, and you certainly inspired us tonight. I appreciate your time. And again, highclerecastlegin.com is where you can go and pick up a bottle. Get it now, just in time for the holiday season. Stick around. This is Create, Build, and Manage Daily.